classes have two components. One is out class component where they have to watch some videos. That portion is handled by either Google Drive or Bodhi. But then there is also an in-class component, the tutorial component. This you need to do live interactions with your students. This you can do with Google Meet or Zoom. Google Meet has recently been made free for everyone. So we will see how to do it via Google Meet. So here is a typical workflow for using Google Meet. Either you start a meeting and then share the link with your students, or you schedule a meeting according to a weekly plan. If you want to schedule, you can do it via calendar. If you want to just start and immediately share with your students, you can do it either via Gmail or meet.google. And this produces a link, and that is the link you need to share with your students. If you are scheduling at that designated time, you need to open the link and join. Your students will also join. When you join, it is always a good idea to mute your audio, disable your video and join. This way, the bandwidth requirements will be lesser and it will also be less distracting. After you join, if you decide to share your screen or window, you can do that. Or you can just have audio-based interaction with your students. And once students join, you can engage with them. For that, you need to establish a protocol. Establishing a protocol essentially means the student should follow some rules so that this interaction is meaningful and effective for all the students. So for example, you should ask the students that when they enter, they should mute their audio as well as disable their video. You as a teacher can have your video enabled and your screen shared, but they should not share any of this because it can distract the class. So that is one, that you should mute the relevant device inputs. You shouldn't interrupt a class. If you have any question, you can maybe use the chat window and post it. And only when the teacher says, okay, this particular person should talk, then that particular person can unmute and then talk. There is a nice Chrome extension called Nod. I'll talk about it shortly. This gives a raise hand feature. This is also useful, so they can raise their hand and you can call upon them and only then they can unmute and talk. So this leads to better participation when you have such rules. First time you do it, it may be a bit chaotic, but you will learn, and then you should establish these protocols so that everyone follows. Some students may not have very good internet access. How do they participate? Google Meet provides some settings to control this. So if you go under menu settings, under this video tab, you can adjust your send resolution as well as receive resolution. You should choose it to the lowest, which is the standard definition. In receive resolution, you should in fact select only one video at a time. Even if this is not working, you can choose only audio. Again, all this is better explained through a demo, so I'll get to that. Here are some references. So this just shows graphically how Google Meet interface looks. There are two useful Chrome extensions for teachers. This Nod I talked about, this provides this raise hand functionality, or it also provides some emojis to show what the students are feeling about your lecture. So this is a good extension to install. Note that this works only on the Chrome browser. It doesn't work on Firefox and all. So for that, you as a teacher, not just you, the students also have to install this Chrome extension. Only then it will work. To reiterate, you as a teacher and the students have to use Chrome browser with this extension if you want to make use of this Nod reactions. But it is a nice feature which you may want to explore. This is another extension for attendance. This students don't have to install, but teachers have to install. This also works only on Chrome browser. The nice thing about this is at the end of a meeting, if you want to know who all attended the meeting, this gives the attendance in the form of a spreadsheet, and you can save it if you want to take attendance. So these are pretty straightforward to install. Play around with them and explore them. So let's first see how to schedule a live session via Google Meet. So for this, I'm going to my calendar. And let's say this session is scheduled on 15th May at 10 a.m. So that is what I'm setting here. So this is my course live session. This course may repeat. Let's say it repeats on Friday as well as, let's say, Tuesday. And let's assume it never ends. So I'm doing this. This is done. And here is where the interesting portion is, which says add Google Meet video conferencing. So I'm going to click this, and it is going to give me this link, and this is the link I need to share with my students. So let me just click save, and here is the details. Click it. It shows this meet details, and this is what you need to cut and share it with your students through email or whatever means. And because it is as part of your calendar, you will get reminders that the meeting is about to start. That way you can join the meeting. So this is one way to schedule a meeting. And if you see, this meeting is scheduled on Tuesday as well, the upcoming Tuesday. And again, you can see that it has the same URL. So it is the same URL that you can keep using for all your sessions, including here also. If you see, it's the same URL. So once you share this URL, the same URL you can use for all the weekly meetings. So that is one way through calendar. You can also schedule this meeting via this. Go to meet.google.com. So when you go to meet.google.com, this is the scheduled meeting that it already shows. But if you want to generally start a meeting now, you can always do join or start a meeting. If you want to start your own meeting, this is unscheduled meeting. I'm going to say continue. This is another way to start a meeting. Whether you click on the earlier Meet link or you do this join meeting, you're going to land up in a screen like this. It's asking, do you want it to allow your camera? If you want to do webcam, you can allow. I don't want to, so I'm not going to allow. That is why this is blocked. It turned off the camera. It's generally a good practice to enter the meeting with the microphone also turned off. So that also I am turning off, and now I am joining. When you join, it also gives this URL which you can share with your students. As I said, this is an unscheduled meeting, so it just created just now one URL. Once you join the meeting, this is the interface that it has. As you can see, I am muted. If I want to get out of the meeting, I can press this, but let's continue with the meeting. This turn on captions, I don't know how effective it is, but in case there is someone talking and you're not able to listen properly, if you turn on captions, it does speech to text, but I don't know how well it handles Indian accents. If you want to present, you can do this present now. Here also you have two options. Do you want to show the participants your entire laptop screen? This is in general not a good idea. You may want to choose a specific window. For example, if it is your PPT slides or PDF, you may want to choose that specific window and share. This is a better thing to do. This is much like we have seen as part of OBS recording software. Here are where the settings are. In case you are having any bandwidth issues, this is where you have to change things. So let me click here. Here you can select what mic. If you have multiple mics, you can select what mic you want to use. Video, here also you can choose what webcam or what you want. Here is where you can control the bandwidth. As I said, you should not go for high definition. You should go for standard definition. This is for sending. While receiving, you can either go for standard definition, one video at a time, or if that is also not working, you can do only audio only. So this is something you can play around with in case you are having some connectivity issues where the video quality is not very good. So I will just stick with this. Done. And here is where the participants are. There is no one yet, so let me get one participant. So here, this is my another account, and I'm going to admit. You will see two Kameshwaris because both are two different accounts. So this is the host, that is why it says you. This is someone who joined. I'm sorry that both names are same. So this person is already muted. In case they are not muted, you can click this to mute a participant. If you don't want this person, you can also kick them out by clicking remove. What this pin means is this particular person, if they have a video on, and when you pin it, that video shows in the screen. And if there are more participants, they won't show. Only this person whom you pinned, their video is going to show in this particular screen. You can also chat with all the participants by typing some messages here. So here is the other participant joined in from Chrome, and here is that nod extension I was talking about. So you can raise hand. As you can see, it says that this person raised their hand. If you like what the teacher is telling, let me remove it. You can do up, down, claps. All this gives some feedback to the teacher. So that is what nod does. So here is what is good and bad about Meet. As we saw in the demo, this is completely web-based. So it is accessible across all platforms, Windows, Linux. You can also download app in Android and iOS. Meet supports 100 participants, which is a good number. I think there is no time limit currently, but in the past there was a time limit of 60 minutes. If you want to support more number of participants, there is a G Suite account. If you buy this, you can support as many as 250 participants, and this is not very expensive. This is just 125 rupees per month. In our experience with Meet, it has been mostly stable, unlike a few other alternatives where we have seen lesser number of disconnections. The screen sharing also, somehow I think it does a good job when you use Google Slides. This feature of closed captioning, sometimes you cannot hear very clearly in these meetings. This does auto closed captioning with the Google's power of speech to text. It is not perfect, but will solve some purpose. But one of the biggest drawback of Google Meet is that it does not have many features which we prefer as teachers. Its competitors have better features. So for example, I would like to mute all participants when they enter. I also would like to admit all without me explicitly having to approve each entry into the meeting. While you can have Chrome extensions to support this, inherently it is not there, which makes it very dependent on you using a very specific browser, everyone having to install it and so on. Recording meetings is also something which we as teachers like, but this is not available in the free version. You need a G Suite account if you want to be able to record. So to summarize, it's stable, but it does not have as many features as which we would like as teachers.